Here we go again. Yet another woman asking,
Can someone please tell me where the masculine men are out there?
if you ever needed proof on how women do not listen to a word men say, it's this question that they keep asking over and over again. And we've given them the answer over and over again. And yet they're still asking it. The truth of the matter is, the reason they're asking it is they don't like the answer they're getting. So they figure, well, if we just keep asking the question over and over again, maybe one day we'll hear one that we do like, that we can accept. Well, ladies, I hate to break it to you, but the answer isn't going to change. And it largely means you're going to have to take responsibility for your actions over the past few years that created the situation where the masculine men have walked away. A beautiful example of that being,
Seems like there's more men nowadays that want to be the woman in the relationship.
that's what I'm talking about right there. That narrative that women have largely created and convinced each other exists. Well, it doesn't. Now, to be fair, part of the reason that perception they have exists is that the so-called masculine men have indeed walked away from them. They're not putting up with this kind of nonsense. They're done playing these silly little games. These men aren't going to tolerate it, which means that most of the interactions these women have, especially when they're trying to be boss bitches, is with men who think that catering to their needs is the way to go. Men who, by the way, were largely raised by single mothers to think that way. And the other truth that the ladies won't like hearing is that the masculine men have already been largely scooped up by feminine women. You know, the ones they call pick-me's because, well, nobody will pick them. You see, these women deride the women who are in happy, healthy relationships with masculine men, claiming that they're weak or somehow unable to stand on their own because they embrace their femininity. They don't want to be boss bitches, so therefore there must be something wrong with them. Yet, they're the ones that attract the masculine men. And it's not because they're weak, it's because they're the ones that are actually strong and independent. They don't see their relationships as something that needs to be a battle, where someone has to win. And they don't see the man as disposable, something to be tossed aside the first time he doesn't meet whatever ridiculous demand she's put forth. Oh no, quite the opposite. Their strength lies in that they want to be equals with their man, and they expect their man to be equal to them. They want to be partners. They want to respect each other and work together to build that happy, healthy relationship we all seek. And they know that you don't achieve that by screaming and yelling, making ridiculous demands, and blaming the man for every little thing that goes wrong. They accept that they are just as responsible for their happiness as the men are for theirs, instead of expecting to depend on the man to provide all the happiness, which is what these boss bitches actually think. That's why I say these women are the ones who are truly strong and independent, because they don't have to rely on the man to provide their happiness for them. But it goes further than that.
What happened to the chivalrous man? They're far and few between.
Again, something you often hear from the so-called boss bitches. You know, the ones who want the hot, good-looking guys to open the doors for them. But the ones that they don't find attractive, no, they'll scream at them that they can do it themselves and to stop being so misogynistic. Because they treat men like garbage, which leads to men not showing any chivalry. So if you aren't seeing that, maybe instead of blaming the men for not giving it to you, you should be looking in the mirror and say, what am I doing to make them try and avoid me and walk away from me and not show me any chivalry? Now, I know you won't do that because that would mean having to acknowledge that you play a role in it and having to accept some responsibility that your actions are largely the reason why.
But if you are them, where do we find you?
I've already answered this. Most of them are already taken by feminine women. And the ones that aren't, they ain't going to be bothered with you. You have nothing to offer them except drama, narcissism, and never-ending demand. And masculine men know this and also know that you really have nothing to offer them in return for anything they show towards you. So why bother? We'd rather be left alone and be able to go around enjoying our lives and living in peace.
It's not at the local Home Depot. I've seen that trend. Like, oh, go find your man at Home Depot. No, the guy that's there on a Saturday morning is there because his wife sent him there to get the shit to work on a project.
Is it really any wonder why she can't find a masculine man with comments and beliefs like that?
Maybe I can find you at Costco in the meat market
Please don't.
because you're planning on grilling out with the boys.
Or with our amazing feminine wives, girlfriends, you know, the ones you call pick-me's, mostly because no one will pick you.
But literally, what happened to the masculine men? Where do I find you? Where do women in general find you?
Well, I could give you more of an answer than I already have, but let's be honest. You're not going to listen to it. You're going to continue to believe what you and your girlies keep telling each other, instead of actually listening to masculine men. Masculine men who have told you, we're not playing your little games anymore. We are your equals. We are human beings, and we expect to be respected and treated as such. Not some little toy that you use and abuse and toss aside when it serves no more purpose to you, which is how most of today's modern women view and treat men. It's not that you need to figure out where we are, it's that you need to figure out why you treat us so bad and think that we would actually want to be part of your life.
And when did men become such little dusty boys?
Seriously, this is their exact mindset. And then they have the audacity to ask, where are all the masculine men at? Ladies, this is exactly why masculine men want nothing to do with you. That attitude is about as toxic as it gets, which is why she is not only single now, but she will be forever. Oh, sure, she'll find guys for short-term hit it and quit it's, but an actual long-term happy, healthy relationship, not a chance. Because no masculine man would ever tolerate someone who thinks and talks that way. And you know what the best part of all this will be? We'll be watching all the comments from women telling me I'm wrong, that that's not how men think. Because they think they actually know better how men think and feel than men do. And because, as I said before, it would require them to have some self-reflection, take some accountability, and be honest with themselves. That what they're putting out in the world, the face they're showing to men, is not one that men want, especially masculine ones. And it would mean they would have to change. They would actually have to become strong and independent instead of laying the blame and responsibility on everyone else, especially men. They'd have to take the time for self-reflection and do the work to believe in themselves and their own femininity, rather than be that so-called boss bitch that other women have convinced them is the way to go. So what do you think about women not being able to find so-called masculine men? Why are they struggling so hard? Why are these men walking away and avoiding these women? Let me know in the comments and let's have a conversation about it. And if you enjoyed this video, give me that like and subscribe to the channel. And check out these other videos where I talk about common misconceptions and misunderstandings between men and women when it comes to dating and relationships.